Hi everyone, Albert Stepniak, your friendly real estate agent here. I get asked all the time, what's going on with the housing market? And to be honest, it's a bit of a mixed bag right now. If you've been looking to buy a house, you've probably noticed that there are more homes for sale than there have been in a while. That's some good news. We haven't seen this many homes on the market since before the pandemic, so you have more options to choose from. Now, for the part that's making things difficult, home prices are still pretty high, and so are mortgage rates. Even though the Federal Reserve has decided to keep interest rates steady, that doesn't mean mortgage rates are going to drop right away. They're still more than double what they were just a few years ago, and we'll talk about the rates in a while. This is a big reason why a lot of potential buyers are still sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a better opportunity. Because of this, we are seeing homes stay on the market for a little longer. Buyers are taking their time, and sellers are becoming a bit more open to negotiating. We're also seeing home prices increase more slowly than they did last year. Some experts think mortgage rates might drop a little by the end of the year, maybe to around 6.4%, but that's not a huge change. A lot of people are waiting for a big drop in rates or prices, but that's probably not going to happen unless there is a serious slowdown in the economy. So, what does this all mean for you? If you're a buyer, you have more choices, but you still have to deal with high rates and prices. If you're a seller, you might need to be a little more patient and flexible. My best advice for anyone thinking about buying is to focus on getting your finances in order right now. Pay down any high interest debt and build up your savings. That way, you'll be in the best position possible when you do find the right house. Now, for anyone who's been thinking about buying a house, there's some really good news this week. Mortgage rates, which have been pretty stubborn for a while now, just dropped to their lowest point in a few months. That's a big deal because those high rates have been holding a lot of people back from buying a home. So let's break down the numbers. The average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage fell to 6.63%. To put that in perspective, last week it was 6.72%. So that's a noticeable dip. It's also the third week in a row that we've seen rates come down, which is a great sign. It's not just the 30-year loans either. The rate for a 15-year fixed mortgage also dropped to 5.75%. That's a good one for people who are looking to refinance or who want to pay off their home loan quicker. You might be wondering what's causing all this. Well, it's a bit complicated, but a lot of it comes down to what's happening with the economy. Mortgage rates are heavily influenced by the 10-year Treasury yield, and that yield has been coming down. This often happens when there's a little more uncertainty about the economy. For example, a recent jobs report wasn't as strong as expected, which has people thinking the economy might be slowing down. This could even lead the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates, which would be another reason for mortgage rates to go down. All of this means it's a tricky time. On one hand, lower rates are great for anyone wanting to buy a house. On the other hand, a weaker economy could be a cause for concern. So while we're all happy to see rates falling, it's still a bit of a waiting game to see if this trend will continue. The main thing to know is that if you've been on the fence, now it's a really good time to check in on what you can afford because things are a bit more favorable for buyers than they've been in a while. It seems like more and more people are feeling a bit more hopeful about the housing market. Fannie Mae, which is a big player in the mortgage world, just released a new report showing that consumer confidence is on the rise. They have this index that tracks how people feel about buying and selling homes. And in July, it went up a little bit, which is a good sign. What's interesting is that even though the overall mood is improving, it's not the same across the board. The report shows that while people are less worried about losing their jobs and feel better about where home prices and mortgage rates are headed, One of the biggest reasons for the improved optimism is that people are less concerned about their jobs. The percentage of people who are worried about being laid off dropped by a good amount, which is a really important factor when you're thinking about making a big purchase like a home. This is a positive change because for a while there, a lot of people were worried about instability in the job market, and that can make anyone hesitant to enter the housing market. Looking ahead, the survey shows that people are a little more optimistic. For example, a larger number of people believe that home prices will go up in the next year. And on the topic of mortgage rates, more people think they'll actually go down in the next 12 months. When you look at the numbers, people expect home prices to increase by about 2.6% on average over the next year, while they expect rental prices to go up even more, around 6%. It's definitely a mixed bag of feelings out there, but overall, it's a step in the more positive direction. A really interesting thing is happening in the housing market right now, especially for anyone considering a newly built home. For a long time, new construction has been a lot more expensive than older homes, but that gap is closing in a big way. The price difference between new and existing homes is at an all-time low. This means that builders are getting more competitive with their prices, and in some cases, a brand new home might actually be a better value than a house that's already been lived in. So, what's causing this shift? Big reasons is that builders have been busy. They've been working hard to build new homes, and now we have a lot more new homes on the market than we've had in years. At the same time, existing home prices have continued to go up, which makes the new homes feel even more affordable by comparison. On a national level, a new home is now even a little cheaper per square foot than an older one. This is especially true in the southern parts of the country, where we've seen the most new construction being built. In some cities, particularly in the south, new home prices are actually going down. Places like Little Rock, Austin, and Jacksonville have seen some of the biggest price drops for new construction. This is because there is a lot of new inventory in those areas, and builders are trying to attract buyers who might be feeling hesitant because of high mortgage rates. It's a great situation for anyone looking for a deal on a new home. While the new home market is looking pretty good in the South, it's a different story in other parts of the country. In the Midwest and Northeast, there just isn't as much new construction available. That scarcity means that new homes in those regions are still a lot more expensive, sometimes more than 50% pricier than existing homes. It just goes to show how much the market can change depending on where you're looking. Overall, though, this is a positive trend that's giving buyers more choices and hopefully more affordable options. Now let's move back to Florida. Some exciting news just came out for two big programs that are super important for Florida homeowners and future buyers. The Hometown Hero program and My Safe Florida Home Grant are both back with more funding. This is a big win because these programs help people in two major ways. First, let's talk about the Hometown Heroes program. This is a fantastic program that provides money for a down payment and closing costs for people in certain professions, designed to help those who serve our communities every day, like teachers, nurses, social workers, and public defenders, become homeowners. The state just approved a list of all the eligible jobs and added an extra $50 million to the program's fund, which is a great news because it means more people can get help. The applications are expected to open on August 18th, so if you or someone you know might qualify, now is the time to get ready. The second piece of big news is about the My Safe Florida Home Grant Program. This is all about helping homeowners protect their properties from storms. Florida is a beautiful place to live, but we all know that hurricanes are a real threat. This program provides grants of up to $10,000 for homeowners who want to make their homes stronger against wind damage. This can include things like reinforced roofs or impact-resistant windows. The program officially reopened for applications on August 4th. So if you're a homeowner and want to make your home safer, it's a great time. It's a great opportunity to get some financial help. Both of these programs are a big deal for Florida's real estate market. The Hometown Heroes program helps more people buy homes, and the My Safe Florida Home program helps protect the homes we already have. It's a great time to be a homeowner or a potential home buyer in Florida. Ever hear people talk about the coastal lifestyle? Well, turns out there might be some real science behind it. A new study from Ohio State University suggests that people who live near the ocean or Gulf might actually live longer than those who live inland. So, what's the big idea? Researchers looked at a ton of data from across the country and found a clear pattern. If you live within about 30 miles of a coastline, your life expectancy is generally a year or more longer than the national average. They think this is because of a few different things that all work together. For one, coastal areas tend to have more moderate weather, so you're not dealing with a lot of super hot days. The air quality is often better, and there are more opportunities for things like walking, running, or just being active outdoors. Plus, these areas often have better infrastructure and higher incomes, which can also contribute to a longer life. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated. The study also looked at people who live near big inland rivers and lakes, and surprisingly, they found the opposite effect. In urban areas near these type of waterways, people's life expectancies were actually a little shorter than the national average. Researchers believe that this could be due to a few different factors like more pollution, higher poverty rates, and the lack of safe places to exercise. So it's not just about living near any body of water, but a specific type of blue space. The study is the first of its kind to really look at the relationship in the US, and the findings are pretty fascinating. It suggests that our environment and specifically where we choose to live plays a big role in our overall health and lifespan. This all connects to why we've seen a difference in how US life expectancy has changed compared to other countries. It's a good reminder that where we call home can have a huge impact on our well-being. A lot of people dream of moving to Florida for the sun and the beaches. But a question I get all the time is how much money do I really need to make it work? Well, a new report just came out that sheds some light on this. It says that a single person in Florida needs to be earning a salary of almost $100,000 a year to live what they call a comfortable lifestyle. Now, let's be clear about what comfortable means here. This isn't just about scraping by. The report defines a comfortable lifestyle using a budget where half of your money goes to the essentials like housing and food. Then 30% is for things you want, like hobbies or vacations, and the last 20% is for saving for the future, like retirement or paying off debt. It's about having that little extra so you can enjoy life and plan ahead, not just cover your bills. Of course, if you have a family, that number goes up quite a bit. For a family of 4, the report says you'd need a household income of over $217,000 a year. These numbers might sound high, especially when you compare them to the actual median household income in Florida, which is closer to $72,722. This shows that the cost of living has really gone up, and it's a good reminder that a living wage, which just covers the basics, is very different from a comfortable one. It's also interesting to see how Florida stacks up against other states. While almost $100,000 a year is a lot, Florida is actually not in the top tier for cost of living. States like Hawaii, Massachusetts, and California require an even higher salary to live comfortably. So while it's certainly getting more expensive here, it's still more affordable than some of the other really popular spots in the country. Ever thought about buying a rental property? A lot of people do, But it's important to know that not all states are created equal for landlords. Some places make it really easy, while others can be a huge headache with things like rent control, slow evictions, and high taxes. I came across a great new report that breaks down the best places in the country to own a rental property, and it's pretty interesting. The report looks at a few key things. First and foremost, they check the eviction process. Nobody wants to deal with a bad tenant, and in some states, getting someone out can be a long, drawn out legal battle. The best states have a quick and straightforward process. They also look at taxes, both property and state income taxes. The lower the taxes, the more money you get to keep. Another big factor is rent control. States on this list have no rent control laws, which gives landlords the freedom to adjust rent to keep up with the market and inflation. Lastly, they consider the demand for rentals. A good rental market has a steady stream of people looking for a place to live, which means less time a property sits empty. I'm happy to say that Florida ranked number 2 on the list. It's a big deal for anyone thinking about investing here. Huge reason for our high ranking is that we have no state income tax, which is a huge plus for your bottom line. We also have a very fast eviction process. On top of that, we have no rent control, which is great for keeping up with costs. Florida has also a massive demand for rentals, with so many people moving here every year and a huge tourism industry. You have a constant pool of potential tenants, whether it's seasonal renters looking for a winter escape or new residents moving here for good. The demand keeps properties filled. So if you're looking to invest in real estate, Florida is definitely the state where the laws and the market are on your side. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the Florida real estate market. I hope these insights were helpful, whether you're actively searching for your dream home, considering selling, or simply keeping an eye on the market here in the Sunshine State. I genuinely love sharing this information with all of you, and your support means a lot. If you have any questions about what we covered today, or if there's a specific neighborhood or topic you'd like me to feature in an upcoming video, drop a comment below. Your input helps me create content that truly serves your needs. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.